I am a dietitian, right? And today I'll be your anti-aging consultant, right? So of course, like what Hui Ni mentioned, who doesn't want to look younger, feel younger inside out, right? And exactly that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so I'm pretty sure everyone here is 18 years old and above, right? Okay, no one here is 18 years and below, right? Okay, so welcome to this session, right? And for example, maybe the youngest guy that I know here is Joshua, like my nephew. He's probably like 21, not even 21, right? So you might be thinking, hey, why anti-aging? Is it really necessary? So if you really take good care of yourself, right, and you see some people out there maybe in the streets, right, maybe they're in their 40s, 50s, even 60s, right, and they look super good, right, and they feel super good, there's a reason behind it, right? So and when you ask them, right, what have they been doing, and they'll tell you that it's no accident. They have been doing something. If they say they haven't, they're lying. They're definitely hardworking somewhere else, like to actually help with their bodies. And if you ask me, right, the earlier we start to incorporate some regimes to make us healthier inside out, right, the better. Because a lot of people, when we talk about anti-aging, right, sometimes they only think about what is skin deep, means just outside lah, right? But what if, right, you can go beyond that, right? You can actually anti-age even much more than that, right? Beyond just skin, right? Okay, just give me a moment. All right. So if you look into this graph of this photo over here, right, what is actually aging? So maybe you guys can actually type in the chat box. When you think of aging, right, what do you think of? What's the first thing that actually struck your mind? Ethan say, I want to be young and handsome. Okay, so usually it's wrinkles. You're right, Johnny. You're right. Fine lines, perhaps, right? Sagging skin, or white hair. All right. So maybe I share with you guys, right, what are the symptoms of actually aging besides the things that we see superficially outside. For example, I think what we mentioned, very common, dull skin, wrinkles, pigmentation. All right. What about in terms of memory? I think a lot of young people nowadays, right, because of the modern lifestyle, a lot of things to juggle around, so-called multitask, right, but actually they can't. The memory their memory is getting poorer. So the prevalence of actually Alzheimer's is actually increasing. All right. uh, Internally, type 2 diabetes. All right. A lot when you get older, or maybe for example your diet is not that on track, right, you realize that your blood sugar is rising. Anyone here, when you after you eat meals you feel sleepy, that is actually a sign, a sign of not that good of a digestion metabolism. All right. Or maybe you go even deeper, your heart. All right. You hear a lot of young people, in fact there was a few Taiwanese basketball player, not few, like, I think one or two, right, they actually pass away, when they are actually looking very fit, very lean on the outside, but you really don't know what's happening on the inside. All right. And what else? We talk about joint pain. All right. When you go up the stairs, when you wake up, all right, it's not the sound of your footsteps that wake people up, but it's the sound of your cracking ankles. Okay. All right. What else? Maybe poor energy. All right. And ultimately, right, what I'm trying to say is quality of life, friends. There's no point that we live super long until 80, 100 years old, right? Okay, but our quality is poor. And I think right now, actually, I'm sharing from Singapore. Okay, so I know Singapore, right, they have a very good, how you call that, they have very good medical care here. All right, a lot of people are living longer, but quality of life is another issue. All right, so maybe you see a lot of ramps being made, a lot of accessible routes they are making for elderly people. All right, because undeniably, when you grow older, your body is more frail. All right, and that's why we're here. Okay, we're going to talk about how to actually prevent that, and we can even start it at a young age. All right, so for example, if you look in this photo, right, in this graph here, right, by the age of 20, right, actually your brain already starts to age. By the age of 25, your skin. All right, so if you're 25 and above, especially right now, okay, you all can guess my age. All right, I'm starting to see signs of aging around my face as well. All right, that's why I'm taking extra care about it. And when you reach actually 30 years old, your metabolism actually slows down. While Johnny say I'm 20. Actually, I'm close to 30, like, guys. Okay, not too old also, but really, when you reach that 30, right? Okay, I think many will agree your metabolism does slow down, unlike where you were in your high school time, or even college or uni time. Okay, and you see that, when you reach 40, it affects your eyes. 50, it affects your kidney. So this aging timetable, right, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. All right, and aging is natural. All right, but we don't want the side effect of aging. So when you look into this photo, right, left, right, left is a lot of medication. Headache, like, eat Panadol, high cholesterol, take cholesterol medication. On the right is taking fruits and vegetables. I think a lot of us, we know we know what is eating healthy. We know I have to be healthy, have to take care of my body. We all know all this. But when something really happens to you, right, suddenly you're having that chest discomfort. You know, suddenly you hear people around your age getting heart attack, you know, things like that. It starts to create some awareness around you. I don't know if you have this realization, right? Like when you hear this kind of news, you start to be like, wow, all this thing is unpredictable, you know. And when you actually start taking medication, right? Actually, for example, when you take cholesterol or high blood pressure medication, eh, do you know you guys have to take it for lifetime? Yeah, and I have friends, right, who are just in their mid-20s or early 30s, right? They are already on blood pressure medication due to the work stress, life stress, all around them, you know, or maybe relationship stress. Okay, so right, the prevalence of all this, right, is really increasing. So before I talk about aging, right, I want to talk about our human body first, lah. You know, we talk about our human. We zoom in. The smallest thing is called cell. You zoom in again, right? Okay, this is a bit science. It's called nucleus. You zoom in again. DNA. In the movie, we always see they talk about DNA tests and whatnot, right? There's something even smaller called genes. Genes. Not your pants jeans, but gene. Okay. So this is the smallest component within our body. And today, right, when you start to age, right, age, right, something around your gene, right, starts to change, right? The way they talk, we call it. In scientific term, we call it expression, your gene expression. It doesn't change, but it reduces. What do you mean by it doesn't change? If it changes, it's called gene mutation. If you've seen the movie Marvel X-Men, right, you know that what Wolverine with the claws and all that, right? Okay, that is mutation, you know, okay? But trust me, in real life, mutation is not so cool like the movies, you know? All right, when you really mutate your gene, there's something wrong going on. So your gene doesn't change, but it slows down. So, okay, Philip, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know, let me show you this example. Twins. These twins, right? They have the exact same genetic profile. We call it gene. All right. But you see the lady on the left, right? The way she lived her life, her and compared to her sister on the right, right, will decide her genetic profile, her gene expression at the end of her life. And you can see the lady on the left, she looks so different. So maybe they are born the same, but the way you live your life, right, will cause you to feel and look different inside out. Okay? Because their genetic expression is very different already. Okay, so in other words, what if today, right, with our topic today, right, what if, right, we have a solution, right, to switch on and off, right, this genetic expression that I've been talking about in a very safe manner? Sounds interesting, right? Okay, follow on. Okay, so how it all started, right? It started with this very simple research, but it's like a 30 over year research, right? And they are known as this most patient scientists, whereby they study monkeys, you know, and they found out that if they feed the monkey with buffet style whatever they can eat you know, on the right, sorry, on the left, long term apparently some monkeys will die from heart attack, cancer, diabetes, you know. So 50% of them survive. Whereas the monkey on the right, right, okay, they are fat controlled, they exercise, they take care of their diet, you know. 80% of them survive. And if you look at their hair, their eyes, you know, their tail, they look so good. And they look into their DNA profile, right? And the genetic profile, and they realize that the monkey on the right, the genetic profile is actually a lot of green, but on the left a lot of red, means a lot of aging, you know. So through this research, right, okay, they found that turns out that we can actually manipulate or control our this gene expression, you know, with certain specific foods. So they look into human now. We talk about human okay. So now you see. Okay, you see this photo, right? On the left is a very young gene expression. On the right is the old one. So when you're older, right, the green become red color already. Alright, so now you're older already, now white hair become white, maybe you got high blood pressure, things like that. Okay, so what if, right, there is a way you know the term you are what you eat. What if there's the certain foods you eat, right, can change your genetic expression, right, back to original. So if you look into this photo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, our company they shortlist at least these 5 ingredients, right? Which one looks the closest to the original one, the young gene expression? 1, 2, 3, or 4? I think the answer is very obvious, right? Yes, number 4. Right. So they realized that by feeding this particular ingredient number 4, right, it can actually change this old gene expression, right, back to when it's younger, even if not 100%, at least 92% and above. That's very interesting, you know. So actually they have found a way, right, to improve the quality of our life with these very specific nutrients. So in other words, that this is how age lock is born. Age lock means lock your age. this anti-aging technology is born. We have found the source of aging. So I show you a very layman example if you feel just now a bit complicated. Imagine these two doctors, they're mopping the floor. The floor very wet. Would you continue mopping the floor or would you go and switch off the tap? Okay, I think you will want to go switch off the tap and mop the floor at the same time, right? Okay, same goes for our health. If today, right, you have this particular problem, do you want to just target the superficial symptom or go to the source? Example, today your headache, okay, or maybe I quote another example. I'm pinching you. You're in pain. Then you take painkiller, but you don't feel the pain anymore. But I'm still pinching you. You get what I'm saying? So this is the root cause. You want to stop me from pinching you. So same goes for our health. If I take cholesterol, right, I'm only every day I take, right, I'm only suppressing the high cholesterol being produced in my body. I'm not solving the root cause. But today, with proven science and safety, right, we dare say we have found the source of all this problem, right, and through age-lock science, right, we can target that source and reset that gene expression. And if you're thinking, wow, it sounds too good to be true, right? To be honest, all these are scientific facts. You can search for it, or you can take my word and have a look here, right? Our technology is so advanced, right? It is actually being featured by Discovery Channel, not once back in 2012, but twice. A second time in year 2020 or 2021. Due to the pandemic, I also lost track of time now, okay? Featured twice. The first one was a general talk about DNA, the next wave. The second feature, they dare because by the way, Discovery Channel, they don't advertise. So when they first mentioned it, you saw our scientists. On the left, you see Life Gen. That's called Dr. Wayne Raj, the guy who studied the monkey. On the bottom is Dr. Joseph Chang, right? He is one of the founding members of ageLOC as well. So they were featured, but they never mentioned about the name Nu Skin or ageLOC because they're not allowed to advertise. But during the second episode, when they feature us again, right, this time it's Discovery Channel X Nu Skin. Because 10 years later, right, no one has the technology that comes close to what we have. And this is a scientific fact, okay? So today, right, I'm just going to present to you these two most advanced in anti-aging supplement that Nu Skin has to offer. All right. So we have on the left, it's actually called Y-Span, and on the right, it's actually called R-Square. So if you look into it, right, the ingredients, right, some of them you are not able to get from your everyday life. Some of them you might hear before. All right. And all these are extracts and very safe. Okay, so what do I mean by safe, right? Okay, so for example, right, Ultimate Duo is certified for sport. Right, it's listed on this NSF. All right, you can have a read about it. Meaning today, right, athletes, right, are allowed to take these supplements. Today, right, athletes, right, the moment they take one wrong supplement, like for example in Malaysia where Lee Chong Wei, he took one wrong ingredient, right, he was banned for 2 years, you know. And 2 years for a sportsman, right, is so much value. The moment they miss one Olympic, they have to waste 4 years of their youth. They're not going to risk it. But our supplements are certified, not just on a sports level, but it's also listed in the physician's desk reference, a doctor's Bible. For Singapore and Malaysian doctors, right, they have their own reference. This reference is more commonly used in the States, whereby if I'm going to prescribe this drug, right, it must be listed in this book. Then it will be deemed safe and effective. So I have a few medical professional friends, right, they are also forming their own drugs. The moment they found out that our supplements are listed here, they were amazed, you know, because even their own drugs, right, they need to submit so much paperwork and safety and protocol, right, to be even listed in another reference. So to be listed here, right, is no joke. And of course, it's thanks to our 6S quality process. So what I'm trying to say, guys, with such high technology, right, our products are safe to be consumed. Rest assured, for the next decades or centuries to come, right, it's safe in your body. Okay, so allow me to dive deep into the supplements now. So we have two, right? One of it is actually called R-Square, all right? So this R-Square, right, stands for, there's a night and day portion, right? Is to renew and recharge your body, all right? So what do I mean by renew and recharging your body? A lot of times we talk about detox, you know. Sometimes I don't believe in detox. The only detox I believe is your own organ, your liver and your kidney. But as you grow older, do you guys agree? Your kidney and your liver, right, ages. So maybe the ability to function on filter has reduced on. So maybe I give you a better example, okay? Let's just say you're 20 years old. Your battery is full, like you bought a brand new phone, right? Your battery can last you one whole day. But as you start to use your phone for a year or two, right, or you start to live life until you're 40 years old, right, you realize your phone battery don't last that good anymore. Am I right, guys? So maybe last time, wow, you can run whole day. For example, I was playing with my nephew and niece, right? Their energy non-stop one, Why? Right, because their battery is always full. But as we grow older, right, we start to have toxins in the body, right? Layman term, right? Our battery is not so good anymore, the capacity. And as we grow older, right, that's why we like, wow, Friday night, Philip, let's go out. No, I want to lie in bed. Okay, I think that's a real example, right? It's because we are getting tired. I'd rather sleep. I'd rather choose sleep. And by the time we reach 70, 80 years old, right, we're so tired already. But what if there's something, right, that can go down to our cells, go down to our DNA, our genes, right, and reset it, that our battery, right, is like brand new again. Imagine that. So if you think about it, well, like that, a lot of people need it. It's true, a lot of people need to recharge and renew. In fact, when taking this, right, you'll get a super deep sleep. A lot of people nowadays, as they grow older, they can't get enough sleep, or even if you do, right, there's no quality sleep in it. All right? Okay, so that's one R square, and it functions well with this other half called Y span. So both of it, right, they give you this wholesome anti-aging results. So there's a lot of big jargons here, right? Let me break it down to you in the most layman term that I can. All right, so let's go through it together. So first thing first, what can this ultimate duo pack do? First thing, it can actually help with the metabolism regulating mechanism. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so when you grow, let's imagine your arteries now. Imagine right now it has a lot of cholesterol and fats within, and if it gets stuck, that's when you start to have problem, right? So some people all their life okay one, suddenly they reach their 30s or 40s or even 50s, right? They start having high cholesterol problem and all that. Why? Aging is one of the factor, but not as simple as aging. Let's go deeper. The metabolism has slowed down already. So imagine your car now is run by petrol, so your car is your body lah. Imagine your body is being run by sugar or actually oil, all right? So and imagine when you drive your car long term, you need to service your car, right? If not, your exhaust come out, the fumes will be black in color and all that. For the human body, same goes to it. Imagine you've been driving this human body, right, for some time. All right, for some time, your body's metabolism will not be as efficient. So that's when you realize that within your blood arteries, right, cholesterol start to form. You start to have developed 3 highs maybe. Your blood sugar also not so efficient in metabolizing it anymore. So you have high blood sugar. Okay, so for your car, if you have this issue, what do? You service your car lah. But for the human body, how do you service it? How? You cannot bring to the hospital, chop you up and open up, right? So there must be something that can help me. And this is where Ultimate Duo Pack comes in. It helps you, right, giving you that younger metabolism that you need, helping you with your blood cholesterol and your blood sugar control. Okay? So this is an example for May. All right, you can look into her blood test report, right? So actually for her blood test report, right, last time her total cholesterol, you see red color, 6.8 to close to 7. But after consuming it, right, for some time, right, you see that actually excuse me, for a month or two, right, you see that the cholesterol actually improved so much from red, right, it has become normalized. Even the LDL, the bad cholesterol, right, it was 4.4, then it became 2.56. All right, it normalized already. Okay, so besides that, let's talk about another how Ultimate Duo can help you, tissue renewal mechanism. If an old hand and young hand are both cut, whose hand can regenerate faster? Young or old? Of course, the younger one, right? Okay, same goes for the brain, the bone, and the muscle. I show you this photo, easy. Now you look at this. This is Philip and Uncle Philip. Okay, Philip who is 28 years old, and Uncle Philip who is 57 years old. Okay, so imagine now, the both of them, right? They both fell down. Who will have a better recovery rate? Assuming they go to the same clinic, they eat the same protein, they eat the same food, they have the same care, same love. Okay, who will recover faster? Of course, Philip A, right? Our boy Philip, when he said, why? Simply because I'm younger, right? Philip A. So imagine Ultimate Duo, right? Being able to achieve that, all right? So, in terms of recovery rate, imagine your brain. So I talk about your blood cholesterol and blood sugar already. Let's talk about one of the organs, the brain. As you grow older, what happens? Poor memory, dementia, But H-Lock Duo Pack has been proven to increase your brain cognitive function, right, and help with your memories. So they did an MRI scan, on the left and right. Left is before they start consuming Duo Pack, and on the right is after. And they realized that the brain after, right, actually the activity is higher, the brain function. So you're sharper in a way. So some people when their memory starts to fog up, right, or forgetful lah, alright, or some brain injury lah, this thing will help. Alright, so I show you this example. Her name is Helen. She's in her 70s already. When she was boarding a plane, right, she had a hemorrhagic stroke. Quite serious, burst, you know. And when you know when you're stroke, right, one side of your face is affected halfway, and you need to go for physio and physiotherapy. That's normal. For her, she started doing all that with H-Lock Duo Pack together, right? And her recovery is phenomenal. This is when I met her in person, and now she's a Singaporean. Now she's probably 72, 73, right? So when I met her that morning, right, wow, she was doing 3 km jogging. She can drive about in Singapore, driving around, no issue, you know, and she still looks so good. When I told you her age, I think you're also shocked, right? So H-Lock Lifespan, right, helping with the brain, helping with the recovery as well. Alright, so moving on, I want to share with you this live example of my friend. So you can see on the left, right, it's actually my friend's mother. She also had stroke, and I still remember when I met her for the first time, I was helping the family to lose weight. So on the right, you see lah, the father and Alicia, you know, she is a doctor as well, helping them to manage their health and weight. So the mom had stroke. So I actually told them, like, actually I have something that can help your mom. Because when I met her, right, then next week when I came to follow up, I saw her hand having a cast. She fell down because she was not able to do things on her own, that she fell down. You know, I think that's quite sad, right? To me, that's what quality of life should be like. You need to be able to at least stand your own. So I share with them this product, right? And I dare tell you, when I see her now, she's able to do the laundry, do house chores, no issue. Even the parents, right, the family, giving them a peace of mind that they can leave her alone at home because they have to go work and study. So they are worried she's always home alone. But with Duo Pack, right, she went for actually 2 sets to actually help with her body. So to hear this, right, I'm super happy. Even my friend Alicia is very happy, and the husband as well. He told me when she hold the wife's hand to sleep at night, very sweet, right? She said he can feel the wife's hands warm, heat, because when the site was affected, it became a bit cold. But she said that I can slowly start to feel heat from my wife's hand already. That's a real life story, guys. Okay, so moving forward, okay, now I talk about the brain. Let's talk a little bit about the heart lah. Okay, so you imagine in your heart, right, you got so much arteries around you, right? Imagine those pipe lah, you know. Imagine now the pipe very rusty. Your body lah, after you live so long, your arteries now a bit rusty. What else? Then maybe your husband made you angry, your wife made you angry, or pandemic you very stressed, high blood pressure. Wow, then some more your arteries within, right, got so much sand, the pipe got so much sand lah, stone lah, all the cholesterol blocking lah. Someone make you angry, what happened? Wow, burst lah, right? Your pipe will burst, you know. So if it bursts at your heart, right, that's when you get heart attack. If it bursts at your brain, that's when you get stroke, right? Or maybe it gets blocked, ischemic stroke, we call it. So what Duo Pack does, right, besides helping with the recovery I mentioned earlier, all right, imagine Duo Pack, right, being able to help make your blood vessel, right, more flexible. So people make your wife, your husband make you angry, online shopping buy more stuff, oh, you angry also, your artery won't so easy burst. Okay, so you still get high blood pressure, all right, but you're more resilient in your body. All right, and of course it helps with, like I mentioned earlier, removing all the clogs, all the cholesterol and all that, you know. So it helps your blood vessel, right, to become more elastic, you know, and also helps with the blood pressure regulation as well, right? So even for my father himself, right, I still remember when he was consuming it, right, he went back for a follow-up with the doctor. The doctor said, hey, you stop for a month, Vincent, your medication, let me monitor your blood pressure. And really, right, before that he was feeling dizzy because his blood pressure normalized. So when he took the BP medication, right, he actually became like low blood pressure, you know. So the doctor was like, okay, Vincent, you can stop your BP medication. That's my father. So it's real, you know, on how ultimate Duo Pack, right, makes your body younger. So we already talk about the heart, the brain, the metabolism, right? It also helps with your bone, your joints. I remember my father always telling me in the morning when he wake up, he need to warm up the leg one. You know, I think it's quite a drag lah. Imagine you have a beautiful house, 3-4 stories, or maybe you want to travel the world, right? You want to walk the stairs, you can't because of this knee pain. And I think osteoporosis is a real condition. So you might take calcium, that's good. But the thing is, right, you can give the best calcium to an elderly person lah. But if the body is not using it to produce stronger bones, right, it's kind of pointless, right? So ultimate duo pack, right, it makes your body younger. So even in terms of forming all these bones, right, stronger bones, right, you're able to. And even when you talk about cushioning, like my mom, she last time she go for injection because the doctor said no more fluid, a lot of friction, you know. But when you jab, right, how long can it last? Maybe 6 months, a year, it comes back. But what if our body can regenerate that particular part? Ah, right. So we have here, you have Rosie, knee pain for more than 10 years, dry eyes. But after taking DuoPack, right, wow, she feels so much more energetic. Can start doing push-ups and more. Amazing, right? Okay, now also in her late 60s, close to 70 already. Right? So another thing I want to talk about, right, is your own physical health. Talk about muscles lah. If you think about it, right, when you're old, do you want to ride bicycle and cycle around? I think Singapore has a lot of nice place to cycle, or even different countries. Or do you want people to push you on your wheelchair? Right? You look at this stairs. I think this is the Mayan temple, where they predict the end of the world. Right? You want to climb up this stairs or not? Or do you want to sit that seat? I remember I was working in a kidney foundation to help dialysis patient, right? Every one of them, they needed this chair to go up the stairs. So it's quite sad. So I believe we deserve quality of life. So even in the New Straits Times, right, it has mentioned 4 out of 5 elderly in Singaporeans, right, experience muscle wasting and malnourished. It's a real condition. We call it sarcopenia. As you grow older, you lose your muscle. Right? So imagine now your joints getting weaker, your muscles getting lower. That's when all problems starts to happen. So imagine, right, ultimate dual pack, right, can help you to settle all these problems. So sometimes it's not that I don't want to exercise. It's I cannot, knee pain here, that pain there. I cannot. You ask me to exercise, I know I need to say, but I cannot. But ultimate dual pack, right, making your body younger inside out, right, you now can. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about is this mechanism in terms of your inflammation balance. So inflammation can cause a lot of things. Yeah, your heart lah, your brain lah, and I want to talk about your joints and most importantly, this autoimmune disease, meaning to say your body how to say own self attack oneself. Your body self attacking themselves lah. For example, like thyroid conditions, this type of autoimmune condition, right, whereby it mistakenly think your own organ as a what do you call that, alien, not foreign for the body, right? It cannot differentiate, so they self-sabotage the body. Yes, you're right. There's self-sabotaging. That's a very layman term of putting it. So one of the conditions that I mentioned is called thyroid, right? So here you see there's this lady called Hui Yan, right? So actually, I think she's Sydney's relative, like they both surname Gao one. So she's from Singapore as well. So who is Sydney, right? Okay, don't know she got open camera now, right? So Sydney is also in the room today, right? So apparently this lady, she was a corporate high flyer as well. But due to immense work stress and whatnot, she also got some health condition, thyroid. But really, after taking our amazing Ultimate Age Lot products, Ultimate Dual Pack, right? It helped with her thyroid condition becoming more stable. The doctor actually said you can stop taking your medication. So we do have a few instances like that, right? And if today you're overweight, it can also trigger this autoimmune condition within your body, like rheumatoid arthritis and whatnot, right? So being overweight is one thing. So maybe that's another topic altogether. But in terms of your body, maybe you have genetic issues when it comes to all this, right? Maybe some people only develop it at a later age of their life. Why? Because of triggers in life. And that's the thing, you don't know when the trigger will happen. Imagine today with Ultimate Dual Pack, right? Your body is more resilient to all these triggers. And if you already have it, don't worry, you can realign your body back. So another autoimmune condition is this rheumatoid arthritis. It attacks your joint. So like just like it attacks your thyroid, right? We call it 大根包 in Cantonese, all right? But in Chinese, this rheumatoid arthritis it attacks your joint, so you have a lot of pain. So what do these people do? They have to take steroid medications, and if you take steroid medications for years, right, there's a lot of side effects. Immune system down, gaining weight. Some people, because of taking the steroid for 10-20 years, right, they get diabetes. I have a patient like that. Straight away start insulin. No, they can't even take medication. That's the side effects of taking steroid. But how to say in Chinese, bo pian, because it's so painful. They need something to help mask the pain, right? So if you have been taking this long enough, do bear in mind that it takes time for Ultimate Dual Pack to realign your body, but with its strong anti-inflammatory properties, right, it can, given time, and it has, especially if today you want to weave out, slowly stop taking that steroid medication as well. It is very possible, okay? So another thing is DNA protection, all right? So in terms of DNA protection, right, for example, maybe we have genetics in terms of cancer, so, or maybe like in life we don't know what the triggers are, especially the foods that we eat, a lot of processed food nowadays. We don't know what is going to trigger our body, right, to produce the wrong cell. So if we see normal cell is okay, suddenly they produce the wrong cancer cell while they start to multiply non-stop. That's very scary, right? What H-Lock dual pack can do, right? It can protect your DNA, preventing that from happening and to begin with, or even help you to eliminate and kill these wrong cells, like we call it. So this guy right here, right, Mr. Ang, right? You can see that after taking Ultimate Dual Pack, right, his tumor marker that used to be 6, right, went dropped down to 3. Yeah, I remember I have this customer as well. She had a benign tumor. Benign means not aggressive lah, in the stomach, but it's been there for 10 years. So instead of removing it, she just let it be lah. But also after some time of consuming it, right, when she go back for her annual checkup, right, she went for the ultrasound, the tumor was gone. Tumor was gone. Right. So really, if you have this kind of condition, right, you can ask closely a consultant more about this, all right, in detail, how it can benefit you. And another point is antioxidant. I'm sure we heard a lot about this antioxidant part, right? It also helps to protect your cells. Like for example, the nails. If it's oxidized, right, it becomes rusty. But today with Ultimate Dual Pack, right, by targeting the source of the problem, right, it can help you to regenerate these healthy looking cells, and protect it. So besides saying all this, right, as a man of science myself, I don't just believe in subjective comments or testimonials. I like something very objective, something that you can prove to me. And I'm very glad Nu Skin has this patented and only to them biophotonic scanner that can scan your antioxidant score. So regardless whatever you're consuming, if it's really working for your body, it will show. If it's not, it will also show with the rainbow wheel. So you can see this, my uncle, my mom's younger brother, real life story. He has been taking a lot of supplements for the past of his life, and his score is red color, red zone. And I measure the wife, also red zone. I measure the son, son also can, only 10 years old, I think, Yijie, also orange zone. So the whole family diet not so good, but I measured his mother-in-law, to my surprise, blue color. I should have put the photo here, I'm so sorry. Blue color zone, So I asked her, what are you taking? She said Nu Skin. Apparently she's getting it from someone else, but now she's getting it from me lah. So I realized that, wow, she has been taking Nu Skin Pharmalex products for more than 10 years, and the result shows her face is glowing despite being in his 80s. So even my uncle, right, after taking Ultimate Dual Pack for just a few months, his score went up. His energy level became better, and all this is real, right? So even for this lady, Selenium, can you guess her age, guys? She used to be a piano teacher, she's a mother of 3 kids, all right, and she's in her 50s. What's her 40s, June? She's in her 50s, and look at her score, platinum 81,000. So really, all right, the amount of antioxidant in your body, right, is directly proportional to how long you will live. I'm quoting this scientist, Dr. Richard Cutler. All right, so Ultimate Duo, if you notice, right, wow, Philip, so much different benefits, from your brain to the skin, immune joint. It seems like it's countless, because it's true. Because when we talk about anti-aging, right, I cannot just anti-age one part, but it's a wholesome, holistic process. Okay, so of course today, right, not just me, it's going to be a very exciting segment, because we are going to have 2 live testimonial sharers. So for the first sharer, right, she will be sharing on behalf of the father, all right, and she will be sharing in Chinese. So friends, if you don't understand Chinese and you want to listen to the English live translation, right? Do follow the steps below, click the triple dot on the bottom, search language interpretation, all right? And press English, and the language will be translated from Chinese to English, and you can listen, all right? So for this testimonial sharer, his name is Do Seng Chong, and her daughter Sim will actually be sharing on behalf, okay? And I really look forward to her sharing, because her father's health has improved so much. So if all of us here, right, we also have our loved ones, right, I think you can pay attention to this sharing, okay? So without further ado, let's welcome Sim.
嗨，大家好，我是 Sim， 来自成甘路，夸热成甘路的。我是要今晚是要分享那个我爸爸的故事啦。我爸爸呢，今年是73岁，他本身呢有高血压的问题，吃药已经很多年了。然后我们是长期就会定期检查嘛，然后在去年之后，我们去见医生，医生就发现他的胆固醇好像有点高，然后觉得有点不太对， 就叫他去做 CT scan，然后12月做那个 CT scan 过后，就发觉原来他的左心脏那个血管阻塞了75到98%，那时候我们吓到了。然后医生就说，我们要 arrange 一下那个，就是要做那个 angiogram 的那个通波仔，呃，可是那个 angiogram 呢，是我们在2月的时候，我们 set appointment 在2月多，所以在1月的时候，经过 Johnny 的推荐啊，我爸爸开始服用这个 Ultimate Duo，从1月1号就开始吃，后来我们在2月10多号的时候，我们就到了那个 UMSC 做了 angiogram。当时医生说先做 angiogram，然后就决定通不通波仔。当爸爸被推进去，然后医生突然间很兴奋的跑出来说：“哎，你爸爸剩下48%而已，那个 block。”天哪！从75%到75到90%的 block 掉到了48%，那时他就说，根本都不用动手术，你们就回家好了耶。只要每年回来做那个 ECG 检查，这样子就好，继续去服用那个高血压药，那是很强的哦。那同时呢，我也发现呢，爸爸原本就是因为这个高血压的问题，然后他的右脚，他那边其实也有一个小小 block，那时候医生也有发现，他右脚就走路会拐拐的，然后会很紧，他说常常很烧，走路不舒服。然后他那时候2月多的时候，心脏那边也通了，那个脚同时间也感觉顺畅了很多，整个筋松了起来。到今天他走路都很好，不用拐拐的在走。然后，身为一个女儿呢，听到我爸不用动手术，真的很高兴。你知道啦，毕竟我爸爸年事已高，已经70多岁，老人家不要动手术就尽量不要动手术嘛，吼。所以我很感谢独行这一套保健品，帮助了我爸爸找回了这个健康。你可以从荧幕上看他抱这个最新的照片，抱小孩的在右手边的，你看他变得更年轻、更健康了。你们有看到吗？这是感谢卢心，谢谢，这是我的分享。
好，谢谢 Sim. All right. Thank you so much, Sim, for your sharing. Okay. So, just to let you guys know, if you are listening to the translation just now, come back to the main room. Okay. Listen to my voice. Okay. If you can listen to my voice, then you're back in the main room already. The following session will be conducted in English. Okay. No more translation. Okay. So thank you so much, Sim, for sharing on behalf of your father. Let me just show the photo again, right? Wow, I think he looks so much better, right? And really from the bottom of my heart, right, I can really relate to her. When an elderly goes to hospital, it's a very stressful thing, right, guys? Especially they themselves are scared, and we are also scared because we have to arrange people to be there lah, to take care of them lah, sleep lah, all that lah. Not easy. And when you sleep there, you cannot really sleep also. You just sleep on the chair only. Then the nurse come in at 7 a.m. wake you up. Every 2 hours wake you up because they have to do blood test, blood pressure check. I think all that was avoided, right? All that was avoided. Really through Ultimate Duo Pad, right? And I mentioned earlier just now the arteries becoming more flexible. All this is real. I'm so happy for Uncle To. Okay, I can call him Uncle To lah, huh? That he doesn't have to go through that and he looks even much better now. I think the biggest blessing for I speak for myself, right, is when our parents' health are really taken care of. So I really thank you so much again, Sim, for sharing on behalf of your father, right? I wish him all the best, continue benefiting from our HWOT products, all right? So of course, for the next sharer, right, I'm going to be welcoming this very youthful guy okay, and he'll be sharing his amazing health transformation with you, all right? Not sure will he mention his age or not, because this oppa, okay, his looks will blow you away, okay? So without further ado, let's welcome Cedric.
Hi, it's lovely to meet you this evening. I'm Cedric, and I'm 48 years old. In the past, I had trouble getting to sleep, staying asleep, and I woke up throughout the night, or even have trouble returning to sleep. I could only sleep for about 4 hours a day, And especially during the MCO, it was shortened to 2 to 3 hours a day, possibly due to fatigue. I have dry and burning eyes. I have to take regular breaks and eye drops from time to time. And the last health problem that bothering me the most is I needed to wake up to urinate a few times at night. Even I had stopped drinking water after 8 p.m. However, I can see some improvements after using R Square and Y Span for about 2 months. First, I'm able to sleep or returning to sleep for up to 6 hours a day, and sometimes more than that. Second, I have stopped relying on eye drops. Last, I do not need to go toilet regularly, and I start drinking water even at night. For your information, I'm on my day 7 of a TR's 90 program. I will share with you more in near future. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Cedric, for your very sincere sharing, right? Okay, I think he looks super, super good. Okay, but not just that, right? I think that quality of life, the itty bitty thing that he mentioned just now, it means so much. Can you imagine, guys? Let's just say, like, on average human age, we live up to 80 years old. How many percent of our life we spend sleeping in the 80 years? Actually, almost 30% of our life we spend sleeping, you know. And imagine that 30% of your life, that pleasure, right, also cannot sleep. It's very stressful, eh? You know, do you know if you don't sleep well for a month, or your blood pressure can shoot up to 140, 160? So actually for him, right, I think besides his better sleep, you can see his pigmentation issue, his dry eyes, you know, from the photos, right? So it's really a sign of anti-aging inside out. And the earlier you age lock, the better, all right? So guys, really borrow your hands and really help me thank Simp as well as Cedric again for their wonderful, wonderful sharing, right? Okay, so moving on, you know, yeah, when we talk about aging, I think the very common thing you heard just now was wrinkles and fine lines, right? So this is actually my mother, all right? After 3 months and 5 months of consuming DuoPack. Yeah, and you can see on the bottom left, right, it's a scientific test that was done. If I expose my skin to UV light with and without H lock, right, how is it? And you can see half of the affected area, the affected area is reduced by half just by consuming H lock Duo. That is a sign of your body becoming more resilient. So go out there, have fun, you know, enjoy your life carefree, because you know that every time you take Ultimate Duo, right, you're looking and feeling younger inside out. I think that's a very good feeling. Another thing I want to share with you, I think if I dare say this, like, you know, this is my other half, Eva. She probably has the one of the most severe acne cases that I have seen, and even, I mean, right in front of me, the brother is in front of me, you know, her medical doctor, the sister is a pharmacist, you know, they are well versed with what kind of treatments, what kind of drug they need to consume, or topical cream to apply, right? But as soon as she stops applying the cream, or stops taking that whatever medication that was prescribed, right, the acne comes back out, you know. And when you take the medication for acne, right, you'll get constipation, weight gain, your period is not regular, you might get flawless skin, but all these side effects, and you can't conceive because if you conceive during the period of you consuming the medication, chances of your baby being underdeveloped is real. But in the name of beauty, people take that, you know. And you can name it whatever treatment that you have out there, what laser, micro needling, or whatever thing, right, Eva has done it. But that's the thing, guys, when you have tried all ways, and when money also cannot solve the problem anymore. Why? The root cause of your problem in your body. And I dare say this lah, when Eva stopped taking medication, her acne blew out, and it took her exactly 1 year, but it was worth it, whereby she no longer has breakout like this anymore. Last time, right, she'll have huge breakouts and one connects to the other and it forms a bigger one. But now no more, without any medication, you know, just going through her everyday life as a normal individual, enjoying life, you know. But most importantly is she has the peace of mind, or she no longer has to put unhealthy substance in the body like those medication. Because what if one day we want to have a family, then, you know, so really grateful for Ultimate Duo Pet products, right? You know, we have a peace of mind consuming all this. Bladder control problem, you know, I think coincidentally Cedric mentioning about this. Here we have Madam Wong with a written testimony, right, suffering from this ever since she gave birth, and this problem lasted 15 years. But really, through after Ultimate Duo Pet, right, this problem resolved as well. All right, age-related macular degeneration, meaning to say, is almost irreversible one because it's age related, you know, and actually he will go blind sooner or later or partially blind. But due to ultimate dual pack, right, even if you don't say recover 100%, if you can delay this procedure for next 5, 10, 15 years, right, of eyesight, isn't it worth it? I think extra 1 day of eyesight is also worth it, right, guys, to see the beautiful world. Okay, so I want to end with this last slide, right? What happens if you really consume Dopat in the long run? I think maybe you might see some familiar faces, Chichai, Emily, and Sydney there, right? I think, wow, now I look back at the photo, they also look much better and younger now. Ask them for their real photo. But you look at them, right? When Benny and Vera, they are both 54 and 82 years old respectively, right? But they look so good, you know. Even Vera now, if I'm not mistaken, she's 85, 86 years old now already, and she still looks so good. Her posture, the way she carry herself is amazing. Really thanks to Ultimate Dual Pack and H-Lock. Okay, so actually that marks the end of my sharing, right? I hope